Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be continuing off the last one. I haven't really made any changes other than building the lighting. If you're just starting with this one, no worries. I'm going to be basically going into how to make materials specifically for landscapes. So you're going to be able to see what a material is made out of, some of the different terms that make, for instance, this texture look like it's kind of bumping out. It's got a little bit of shine to it. This one has its own kind of thing. We got some stretching there. We can talk about that. But really, I'm going to make a multi-layered material that we can kind of blend together ultimately to be able to paint like dirt, rock, grass, snow, whatever. So we can kind of make a landscape a little better here. I'm going to try to get through it as quick as we can and go over all the important stuff. So starting off, I always like to go to the content folder over here. If you don't have it open, just click this little arrow and just click on content, do add new folder, and you can right click and rename it landscape or custom folder or your name or whatever you want to name it, just so it doesn't kind of get lost in the shuffle. And I'll talk about some of these folders at the end too. So to get our material going, we'll just right click in this empty area in the landscape folder and click material. And I'll call it landscape _M. Naming conventions are kind of important eventually, but not so much right now. I like to stick with a capital letter underscore and then M for material. Also, there's no spaces allowed in the names, just so you know. So you can use dashes or uppercases however you want. Anyways, so that's just a blank empty material. And we have the starter content in here. If you don't have it already, you can go add new content pack and then choose it. But you should already have it. There's a difference between textures, which are just the images, different types of images that eventually end up making the materials. So material, for example, we can look at one of these, is made up of these basic things. So you generally have a base color, which is just what you would think a texture is. You have the specular, which is how shiny things are and where it is shiny. So you have a different map for that. If you've modeled at all, if you're kind of an advanced modeler, you should know some of this stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to use kind of pre-made stuff. But just so you know, specular is how shiny it is. Roughness is just how bumpy, kind of randomly rough it is. And then the normal map is important. It makes it kind of look actually like it has some depth to it, So like that is not actually modeled in there. That is just faked with the normal map, that depth. Anyways, so those are materials. They're basically made up of different types of textures. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find the textures I want, because those are just the plain images, to be able to make my landscape. I'll just see what we have here in the starter content. I definitely want, let's see, grass. When you grab a texture, grab both the color texture and then the normal. You can see the naming convention here. So D is for diffuse, which is the color, and it's for normal. So you want to grab both these. So hold Control, click the other one, and then we can just drag those into our landscape folder. And I'll just copy them, so we have a separate copy over here. And then I guess I'll take gravel. So hold Control, grab both the gravels, put that over in my folder, and let's see, let's find one more. Let's just do granite. Oh, it doesn't have a normal. I guess I'll do basalt, which is like a rock, and drag those over. So you can do as many as you want. Just so it don't take so long, I'll just show you 3. Oh, apparently 2 only came over. Grass, I'll just add in cobblestone. Oops. Okay, so we're back in our landscape folder. I have 6 files, which is three textures with 2 versions of each, if that makes sense. You can see the normals here are the purple ones that look all crazy. So if we open up our material, we can go ahead and drag these in. You can drag them all in at once, or you can kind of drag them one at a time. I guess I'd recommend dragging one at a time and kind of arrange all of the color ones in a row, like this. And then beneath them, arrange the normal maps in a row, but make sure they're in the same order as they should be in your file folder here. So something like that. So we have them all lined up. We're gonna search over here, or you could right click and search, it doesn't matter. Just type in landscape, and we're looking for layer blend. It is, I guess. At this point you're done, you can maximize the thing. And we're gonna add channels for each of our layers. So press the plus sign over here under, you click layer blend, plus sign, open it up, and give it a name. So the first one is cobblestone, plus sign. The next one can be grass, and the last one is rock. So you can see over here on my blend layer that it has made the individual channels for me that I labeled. So you're just going to connect the, well, first of all, actually, I'm going to click it, Control C copy, and then Control V for paste. So make a copy of this, since you don't want to like write those labels in twice. That's the only reason why. And then go ahead and connect the white circle up here to the corresponding layers. They should be in order if you've done it all correctly. Do the same with the normals. And then from there we just connect these 3 together. These are the base color, and these will be the normals. And essentially that's the bare minimum basics of like a landscape blend layer. So apply, wait a second, save it, and now we can just click on your landscape here, and then on the side you can choose what landscape material you want. So you can either search for it in here, or you can just click on your one you have made already and press the arrow, and it'll apply the landscape. For now it'll look like nothing because it is nothing. We have one more step to do. If you go back to the landscape tab up here in the modes section, now we're going to, instead of sculpting, we're going to go to paint. And you can see it's applied the 3 different layers we have here. We just need to give it a layer info file, so like it can tell which texture goes where, kind of, and remember that in the computer. So you just press the plus sign here, and then just choose weight blended layer normal, the top one. I would put it back in the same folder you made, the landscape folder, and give it a sec. You gotta be patient with Unreal sometimes, otherwise you'll crash it. There we go. And then do the same for the other ones. See, it auto-saves a lot, which is kind of a good thing. So just add the info, press the plus sign, add that, and put them all in the same folder, and you're good to go. So it's the same as sculpting. You can turn your brush size down to whatever you want. I'm not going to bother making it look cool. Oh, I forgot one thing. So you see how this mountain looks shiny? Never mind the tiled cobblestone, but see how it's shiny? We probably don't want that. If you go back into your layer, your material, sorry, your landscape material, there's a couple things we can do. We have these slots for metallic, specular, roughness, which I mentioned. We want to set those just to a number since we don't have a texture map to like set those properly. So on the right, we can just grab a constant 1, which just means it's one number that never changes. And it's from 0 to 1, so 1's 100%, 0 is 0%. I'm just going to plug 0% in to, which is 0, to all of these, whatever I feel doesn't need to be showing anything. You can add a little bit of roughness if you'd like. So if I wanted 50% roughness, I could do like 0.5 and connect it to, connect it to the roughness. And that should stop a bit of the shininess. So apply and save. And then it always says it has to recompile the shaders to see. See, it's quite a bit less shiny. So let's get rid of the cobblestone. We're going to do, I have all these layers now that I've made all the information for. So now I can just click on each one. So I'll do grass first, and I'll try to paint it. You got to wait for it to compile. Let's see, my tool strength is still set at barely anything. So if you do 1 for tool strength, let's do a big brush, I can paint the whole thing with grass. I would probably want the fall off to be a lot smoother, and you would probably want the opacity to be a bit less when you're blending different textures. But there you go, that's the basics of it. You can blend rock into here. It'll take a lot more work to make it look amazing. I'll go into, I guess if you want to learn how to tile stuff, you can, I'll just show you real quick. If you think it's too tiled or not tiled enough, you can plug in a constant over here like we just did. And you'd have to play with the numbers. I don't know which number exactly will work. Play with them, go up or down, and you just plug those into the UVs, and that'll tile it more or less. If that doesn't make sense, just leave it as is. Add more layers. The more layers you have and the more things you can blend together, the better it will look. And then we'll add some plants and stuff later, and I might even try to make this a little bit better. But that's just basically how to make a quick 3-channel landscape layer. Alright, hope that was informative, and I'll catch you next time.